So welcome back to Exponential 201. This is the last module, Module 9, before we start Month 1, Month 2, Month 3. And do you believe it? Are you ready? I hope you're burning with anticipation and excitement. You've got the vision, you've got the plan, you see the different phases, and we're about to officially launch Phase 1, the quiet phase. However, this event, we're just going to talk about these real practical things on what to actually do. Now, there's going to be this is not going to apply to everybody in the room, but it might just be good for everybody to kind of see it at first, kind of an overview. This is what to do. For example, lesson 1 here is in connect groups, what to actually do. Here, you've trained a leader, they're 14, 15, or 16, and they are then meeting with their group, that they met at Epic event number 1. They're outside, sitting around. And we talked about what to do then, just get to know each other's names and get their information and that kind of thing. But the question is the next week when they come back, they're meeting their very first time. What do they do? Well, first of all, even though they're meeting their very first time, they should be assigned right away, like the next day, who's in their group. And they should start texting them. They should be, FaceTiming or whatever, like connect. Hey, we're so glad, blah, blah, blah. And, it's most likely it's not going to be the same people they sat down with in their group. That'll be just too difficult. But I'm so looking forward to seeing you next week at this time. We're all coming 45 minutes early. It's going to be great. Hey, do you need a ride? I'll come pick you up, that kind of thing. So they get there. Then what do? Well, remember you're going to start with the pathway to freedom, but the very first 4 weeks are welcome to the family. So during these 4 weeks, you're giving them a new norm. The process of the group will be very similar to weeks in the future, trimester 1, 2, and 3. However, the first 4 weeks, you're really kind of helping to pull them in. Welcome to the family is something you could print out for them if you have like that very ready that first week at the Epic event. If not, if you're doing it online with the Pathway to Freedom, Welcome to the Family, you can have them get online right then in their small groups and download the PDF and say, here's something for you to do every single day. So I would encourage right at Epic event number 1 afterwards, say, this is what we do. Little baby steps every day. You're becoming a follower of Christ. Here's a little baby step. And each day we want you to spend like 15 minutes with the Lord, just praying, and here's some stuff to read and to think about and pray about and that kind of thing. So that way, right out of the chute, you've established a new habit. They come back the next week for the very first connect group with their leader who's been texting them because you assign them, like within the next day or two. But they've already all been doing the same thing. So anyways, I just want to go over some of the specific format and the broader format. First of all, by doing it in trimesters every 12 weeks, you can get people to sign up in advance of the trimester. So you've got 4 weeks, welcome to the family. By the time we get to the second week, you're going, we got a couple more weeks of this, but then we start trimester 1. And it's Pathway to Freedom. It's going to be so great. We're all going to go through it together. And I would encourage that original group, do everything they can to get everybody to sign up. Actually have print little sign-up cards or something and say, yes, I'm in. A lot of these groups, not everybody, but I'm talking about the exponential churches around the world, they get the people to pay for it, young people, old people, whatever, to pay for, like it's going to join this trimester, it's going to be $10 or it's going to be $30, whatever it might be. And let me tell you why. There's something about when you pay for something, you value it. So you can come to the church service, that's fine. You don't have to pay for that. You teach them to give and be generous and things like that. There, but this is like going to like a little supersonic jet-powered Bible school, right? And so there's something about investment. Now it's going to cost something, right? Either the church pays for booklets or pays for a subscription, or they pay for it and then it gets passed on. I just would encourage you. It's okay to say, listen, it's this next 3 months, this first trimester is going to cost this much. And I would say like $10 a month or $7 a month. The subscription fee, if you want to do Pathway to Freedom, is pretty nominal. It's like $7 a student a month. You could subscribe and do that and charge them, $7 a month or $10 a month or whatever, because you'll have other expenses you might want to cover with that. The point is that there's a commitment from them. They're putting their name down. Yes, I'll do this. Hey, I'll be my $30 or my $21 or whatever next week. But anyways, I would just encourage you, ask them to pay for it. It makes them feel like I'm investing not just my time. You don't want to be the kind of person that please come back. It's not that. It's like, no, this is a privilege, and if you give something free too much, like, hey, we're giving this free and this free, please come, you're always wondering if they're coming. But when they say, I'm signing up for a trimester and I'm going to be here for the whole trimester and I'm giving you $30 to do it, well, that means they're invested in this thing. You're trying to change the mindset. We're not the begging. Please come, beg. Because if you beg them to come to Christ, you have to beg them to read their Bible, you have to beg them to come to small group, you have to beg them. No, this is like a privilege to be a part of. And that doesn't mean we're not eagerly going after them. If they miss a time or two, we're calling them, we're texting them, we're going to see them, we're picking them up, okay? Once they complete that trimester along with the encounter, give them a graduation ceremony. You can print out a certificate with the Pathway to Freedom and present one to each student, put their name on it, do it in front of the whole church, and have them invite their parents. Hey, I'm having a graduation and award ceremony. A lot of these best practices of the exponential churches, they do this all around the world. It's a big deal. Some even wear like a cap and gown, and they do it 3 different times during the year if they make it through that trimester. And a lot of these kids, they've never kind of achieved anything, and so let them feel like, I'm really going somewhere in my faith here. So the format of the Connect groups, let's just go through some of this. Structure of the meeting. Initially plan to have them come 45 minutes in advance. You'll probably only have a 30-minute meeting, but you want to have time for people being late and then a break between the actual small group, the Connect group, and the meeting, the bigger meeting that's starting. Have them find places to sit somewhere in the church, on the church grounds, somewhere in a circle. And I just encourage you at first. Some of these groups meet in people's homes and youth homes and that kind of thing. But one of the challenges has always been in the West is we're too busy for this. How do we find another place to meet, another time to meet? People have, soccer and this and that. And so if you attach it to a meeting that's already there, a big weekly event, just come early or come later or stay later, then it's just easier in terms of transportation. They're already there. They just got to come early, that kind of thing. So that's why I encourage you to attach it to something else. So during the meeting, you go around the group. How's your week gone? What's your biggest challenges? What's your biggest victories? What's going to be prayed for this week? The point is, part of the goal of those small groups is relationally to get them to really connect. These are going to become their real friends, okay? And the way you do that is the more you open up and share your heart, the more, first of all, the listener gets endeared, but there's also trust built, and then people pray for each other, that kind of thing. So part of the goal of the small group is relational connection, and of course the other goal is to grow. Review this week's content. So part of what they're doing is they've just had 7 days of quiet times, and so ask each to share what they learned most that stuck out to them from their day of quiet time, or in the written content, or from the Bible that they read. Ask each if they memorized the scripture this week, and ask them to say it. A lot of times in the quiet times that we have on Pathway to Freedom, there's scriptures to memorize, not every time, but there are a lot. And we really believe in getting scripture down into their heart. Take a few minutes to watch the video teaching. So once they've kind of gone around the room, they've talked about it, they can watch the video training that, at least on Pathway to Freedom, that we put together. There's kind of a video synopsis and then a teaser of what they can expect the next week. And then after that, process what they've learned after the video's over. It's a short video. It's only 5 minutes or so, like what you've been watching here. And so process. Ask them, each person, what did you think about that? What stuck out to you? What spoke to your heart? And then pray over each other for that week, remembering the needs that we talked about earlier. And so this doesn't have to be highly technical, cool, this and that. Don't overthink it, but you're getting a lot accomplished by getting them to process and to think and to discuss and praying for each other. And then you dismiss the small group to the main meeting. So it's as simple as that.